Wow.
I got the live stream popping.
I got it too.
What's good, people?
What's good? What's
Yo.
good? What's good? We
Oh, you
live.
got your Sun Goddess hoodie on, Obasi? Is that what I see
Always.
over there?
Yeah.
Yes. Hmm.
All right, so we ready. Officially episode 1. Even though this is like episode 55 with us.
Yeah, Vocal Dialect episode 1. We live. Live in the flesh.
episode.
New
All right.
season, new vibrations, new topics, new drama, new debates, new.
New.
Yeah, we live. So, man.
We
What's up?
live. I just muted myself out so we good to go. So it will not be no double talk. Peace and power, peace and family. It is an honor and a privilege to do season 1, episode 1, Vocal Dialect podcast. I am knowledge born 7, 360 degrees of the cipher, 120 degrees of wisdom, 120 degrees of knowledge, 120 degrees of overstanding, 6 protons, 6 neutrons, 6 electrons. I'm here with my partners in crime, Kenwato Akil, Obasi Kente, and Queen Goddess Hope. We thank y'all, family. Today we're gonna be discussing a little bit everything. We're gonna kind of freestyle a little bit, but the main thing, for us the meat on the plate, well, which we don't really eat meat, but for the main course will be MLK Day, Martin Luther King. You know, we're gonna go from there. Let's get it.
All right, kick it out, brother Obashi.
No,
I
boss.
didn't know. Okay.
Yes.
I thought y'all was just gonna continue to open it up. So I guess apparently the topic is like, what'd you say? What did he do for us, or what did he bring to the table?
Um, I
Um,
got I got a few. Let me recite it. I said two things. Discussing MLK, what he mean to the community, or MLK, what he did, what did he bring to the people's table as far as
okay.
families, stuff like that, you know.
So in my opinion, since that's the question being posed, I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna say from the way the people speak, he brought nothing to the community. And
Oof,
he means nothing to the community. Now, if I'm
oof.
wrong, please hop in the comments with different. But I got a little bit of a different take, because I'm actually a foot
Hold
soldier.
on, boss. Give me one sec. Kiwato, can you please share this on your stuff? Share the YouTube and all your stuff.
That's what I'm doing as we speak, bud.
All right, thank you, my brother.
So we
Go ahead,
already.
Obasi.
I got a little bit of a different take, so to speak, because I'm a foot soldier, so I know what a challenge that is. And this is something me and my brother Ken was talking about all the time. And I'm not gonna say I'm gonna check the level of disrespect, but I think we need to kind of like pause for the cause on the dismissiveness, because from my perspective, I'm gonna examine a lot of leaders that has been given that um didn't do much of nothing. And I'm not even talking about these new school leaders. I'm talking about the ones that's held into high esteem. What I also always talk about is he's an unfinished product, right?
Mm.
So in my opinion, he was an unfinished product. Religion, more so Christianity, is the number one religion in America among black folks. And it
Mm.
is not designed for you to be radical. It is not designed for you to be pro-black, whatever that is.
Can I interject for you real quick, Obasi? When he mean radical,
Okay.
he mean y'all be turning the cheek. Go ahead, Obasi.
Turn cheeks, spread cheeks. They do all kind of ungodly things with the cheeks when it
Pause.
comes.
Pause.
They do kind of all kind of things when it comes to the cheeks. But
Mm.
that's a whole nother thing. But I'm gonna say he was kind of like an unfinished product, just like the Honorable Malcolm. They were unfinished products. Because something I know my boy Kenwato gonna talk about it, that we always talk about his nonviolent, and even though Dr. King told him pistol, But we always talk about his nonviolence and his passive approach, which religion induces. But nobody talks about, his awakening and being apologetic and like, you know what? I think I might have got this, nonviolent thing wrong. I think I kind of screwed up a little bit. And I'm gonna just say one that's still living. If we were to mention Louis Farrakhan, then we have all of these responses to what he means to the community. But he's just integrated at this point right now. And I always say my inbox is open for anybody that feel any different about what I'm saying. But he's integrated, so that's why I say I think we have to examine Dr. King a little bit better. Now, I'm not on the nonviolent turn the other cheek. And I'm also say this in my last point. I think it was kind of like a balance of him and Malcolm. Because, Malcolm was by any means, you put your hands on me, I put back. But I think more people live in that nonviolent space. Especially when something jump off in the community, then people kind of, they go from Malcolm X to almost Malcolm Jamal Warner. Forget Martin Luther King. But they go to a more docile because they don't want smoke. Everybody want peace. So I think it's a lot more Kingites than it's a lot of Malcolmites. And I think that's mine, if I set the table properly. What you got, Queen? I heard that.
Oh, no. I want to hear what Ken got.
Oh, okay. No, I was over here, Okay.
Hey, Ken, you have
it was his idea to talk about Martin Luther King Day.
Oh man, I like MLK. Man. When I was younger, I was with I'm more with Malcolm than than King. My phone. Sorry about that, Dr. King. But as I grew older, I realized is that like he brought a lot to the table for the people in the community, man. He made a lot of sacrifices. And like the brother Obasi said, they only tell half the King story. They don't tell the full circle, the full 360. The man realized that he made a mistake. You know what I mean? He realized it. And the reason why they took him out because he led the poor people's campaign, you know what I mean? And he was talking about reparations and stuff. That's when they took him out. And man, Obasi was we always discuss this, like this little conversation. Hey, he put more boots in the ground than any other ancestors, you know what I mean? And nobody put boots on the ground like that, man. But yeah, just let's tell the whole story. Don't be so one-sided, man. We can't disrespect none of our ancestors because what you would have done the same thing? Would you been out there putting your life on the line to fight for your people for equality and justice? Nah, half of these dudes too scared. For real, I know what it is to be out there on the front line. Me and the boss, I've been there. So yeah, so you can't disrespect that ancestor. Like I don't agree with turning the other cheek. You know what I mean? I don't agree with that. You hit me, I'm gonna hit you back. Period. You know what I mean? Win, lose, or draw. But hey man, that man changed. He realized that he messed up, made a mistake. That's my take on it.
All right. So, my take on all of it is, in light of both of your comments, Obasi and Ken, only because I see two sides of it as a Libra, my odd vibe, shout out to the Libra gang. And, just thinking about how I could bring the balance to this all because there are some pros and some cons. When I think of Martin Luther King Jr., Doctor, I really think about my family in Alabama, one being feet away, living miles away from where a lot of this stuff civil rights movement happened. And one of the first things that I wanted to do was actually go visit these museums that commemorated these things, stand on Rosa Parks Boulevard and
Right.
across the street from her library, actually sitting in front of the building where she worked as a seamstress right next to the, bus stop. So Montgomery has all of that raw history, and they actually have it on display for you for people to walk by it all day long. So I'm grateful that I was able to live there and get that. On the other hand, I think about how Alabama is feet away from Tulsa, and I often think about the massacre. I think about how our people had literally everything right there in that one town that really didn't need any white people for anything. We were fully functional by any means necessary, back to the Malcolm vibes, And,
Right.
and truth be told, when I think about what Dr. King was actually fighting for, being equal to all people of color, including the white man, I think about how his mind should have really flashed back to Tulsa and say, yo, why can't we just create our own bus company? Why
Yeah,
can't we just have our own? Like, we fighting to sit anywhere on the bus. But the fact is, sis, you was on the bus and we could have created a whole fleet of entrepreneur vibes, because from what I understand, down in the South, there was still very many Black bus companies at that time. There was really no need for us to integrate. I
Nope.
am one who believes that we should have never integrated. You know
Right.
what I mean? Like, I'm
Right.
100% standing on that. Even after going to DC a couple years back when they first opened that Smithsonian African American Museum, and they have all of this information about Tulsa, just a whole room dedicated to it. And I was just like sitting in there like big mad, because why do I have to deal with this? Like, why do I get this little space in this museum dedicated to Black wealth, to Black legacy, and all you got left was a freaking penny from the dirt? Like, I don't want to see that shit. Like, tell me what the real is. You know what I mean? Like, that's number one. Number two, what I am thankful for Dr. King is the concept and the idea of open housing and fighting for Black home ownership to live wherever they want. I feel like people who have the money should be able to buy and purchase wherever they want to. It doesn't matter if you don't want us integrating your cities or not. It goes back to redlining. It goes back to the whole entire Fair Housing Act, which was created shortly after his assassination. And then shortly after that, it was implemented, the credit system. They like, oh, now these niggas could buy houses. Like, how about we put something else on that ass? And they sprinkled Equifax and TransUnion, do you know what I mean? And Experian on us, because they already know that we're not going to be as savvy with money as they are. You understand? So there are some things that I do agree with Dr. King, but it's like two things. So,
Yeah,
it's really
that's
no
fair to say.
disrespect
That's
to the
fair to say.
man, but I really think, with my entrepreneurship mind, I really 100% think that they should have created their own bus companies and just kept that
Right.
shit pushing.
Yeah, I agree. I can't agree with you more, Queen.
What you think, Knowledge?
You don't know what I think. MLK, I mean, I think he was needed for that time. But for us, the nonviolence, we shouldn't have been, doing that nonviolence. I think it um, set us back as far as us progressing as a people. And it did kind of put people who was not, who didn't have really like a lot of knowledge of self, kind of give them like a boost or something like that, as far as them moving about in the public. I spoke with a few elders and stuff like that. It kind of, during that time, it did kind of empower the people, but to stand up, changing different things like white bathroom, color bathroom, white water, color water, where they can go drink at, stuff like that. But far as that, I think it's just another day to me. I'm just being for real. I'm not gonna poop on his legacy but a lot of stuff he don't even own. You know what I'm saying? I don't think he even own. I don't think this does his family own like his the church and all that stuff, the house. I don't think they own that stuff, do they?
Me neither. I don't think so.
I don't think they own that stuff. I
Yeah.
don't think that it's a lot of stuff I think they do not own. I mean that his family does not own. But at the same time, I'm gonna say this: it was needed for what was going on during that time. Some of it was needed, some of it was not needed. I'm gonna leave it like that. But we should have during that time, and the Queen is right. I did do some research. There were other black bus companies. The integration, we did not need it. Definitely at that time, we could have kept our money in house, and we definitely would have learned about the circulation of money as far as it circulate in our community several times before leaving it. Because once we start to integrate, a
Yes.
lot of black businesses lost money because
Yeah.
they wanted to poke their chests out and be like, I'm going with Sarah and Charlie went. You know what I'm saying? The
Right.
Wazungu. So it set us back. I'm gonna just put it to you like that. And it cut out some form of entrepreneurship because during that time we also had our own cab companies too. So it's a lot to this, you know. As we get to live and see and read and study and reflect, um, it's all bull. I'm gonna just leave it like that. But I think for
Agree.
what I think for the time it was needed.
Hmm.
Everything that happens to us as a people in history is either a help or not a help. And 9 times out of 10 is not a help. I'm just gonna be for real with you. You know what I'm saying? 9 out of 10 is not a help. And a lot of times when you're affecting the Wazungu's commerce, they will find a way for you not to affect their commerce. The
Yeah.
main thing of this particular society, Western European society is commerce.
Hmm.
Everything is based off commerce. I'm just being for real. But hey, he gave the people some form of empowerment for those in the Christian Baptist community.
Hmm.
Make them feel as if that it was good. But also during that time, there were people who also had knowledge of self. They was not with that. I'm just being 100. But a lot of people who did have knowledge of self did actually march with Dr. King for the unity, which is cool. Sometimes we got to unify. I heard an elder speak, old 5% elder speak on Instagram. I showed it to my wife, and he was saying we split. We got 5%. We got Sunni Muslim. We got regular. We got Islam. We got all these different sets. But when the Wazungu see you, he see you as a what? We ain't gonna say it on live, but he see you as that one person, the N word. He see
Hmm.
you as that. So we have to take that same stance. We need to see them not as Presbyterian, not as Baptist. I mean, not as Methodist and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? We need to see them as that, unify together, and definitely stop putting our resources into a particular system. Whereas if we find ourselves in a bad situation, you know what I'm saying? And we have to utilize certain tools and learn from it. Can we learn from Dr. King? Yes, we can. We can learn from that. What do we learn? Not to be nonviolent. That's what we
We
learn.
okay. I agree. I agree with a lot, and I want to speak on something that Queen touched on the the buses. There was plenty of time to have ownership. Like she said, we're gonna put it on them scales. And what I want to also point out is the effectiveness of protesting and boycotting. So if we really look at the effects of the Montgomery bus boycott, and see, that's what a lot of these people say now, that boycott not gonna help. And again, it's like basketball. If you don't have that on the court experience, then you can only talk from a certain perspective. Me knowing firsthand the power we have when we're able to come together and shut down a business is something that most people will never understand.
Yeah.
Now, this is because it's been a few years since we probably done shut anything down, huh, Waddle? But this is always the insane part of the 2020 or 2019 or 2000 today, Black people, that we say these things but the vast majority, when you're boycotting, the most people you having trouble with is your people.
Mm-hmm.
I can remember several times we setting it off and our people are fighting with us to go in there and spend money with this stuff. Now, I think the integration, agree again, Queen 2000 on that. That was the worst thing to hit us.
Yeah.
Because they didn't integrate with us. They brought us into theirs as a way of, because everything we lost, we talking about now. We need our own leagues. We need our own stores. We need our own this. But that was more so a chess move from the Urugu's standpoint. He was only the face that they used. And this is the only thing I feel like this is so important. He was only the face that they used. Like LeBron James is the face of the NBA. But that commissioner, Adam Silver,
is
Jew. That he's that one that called them shots. So we see these pictures with him of the Rockefellers, King with this.
Yeah.
That's the kind of like neutering. That's to put the shot collar on you right there. And the best way to get you is to get you unified, or as the great Amos Wilson to say, get a Negro universal. And that's how I just look at it. But as today, like Nala said, I didn't get up and look at none of the parades because or none of the things on TV because it's nothing but Christian. It's nothing but Christian neutering. It's you got a plethora of people sitting in there talking about love and unity, and then we go outside and get busted in the head.
And then the U.S. just bombed a damn cargo ship in the middle of the ocean, or they got bombed. Well, they got bombed.
You see, so it really also shows the hypocrisy of America. So he's on, and really you only appreciate it after you've been neutralized. So after they neutralized, they got the most radical one first. They got Malcolm in 65. And they let him linger around because they still had use for him. It was like, okay, we can't really neutralize them until we no longer need them. And then who's always the replacement? Oh, Mr. Jesse Jackson, Mr. I am somebody. So we always have to look at like who's the Negro that they put in charge. And they didn't put Farrakhan directly in charge after Malcolm. As a matter of fact, Elijah Muhammad, Wallace Muhammad, he took over for a while. What Farrakhan did was re-emerged it. But we can find him kissing white men in the mouth. We can find him kissing Michael Flager in the mouth. So there's this like pseudo radicalism when it comes to him. Everybody wants to talk about him, but he, also we can also look at him and L. Ron Hubbard, putting those teachings. So that's still integration. So we have to really look at it, and where I want to go with who started this integration, but or who had a hand in that. But that's a whole nother story for another time. We ain't gonna open that can of worms. But no, before we slide on, I just kind of want to commemorate some of the things. It's like Queen said, I can look at a cool 2, maybe 3 things, and I'm like, oh, okay, I can rock with that. But it ain't a long list. And like Nala said, I'm not gonna poop on the legacy, but I think it was just misguided and mishandled.
Yeah.
100%. And you could show how much respect they got for old boy by them having a damn shrine at the motel that he was assassinated at. Like you can actually go pay some money and go look at his coffee and scattered on the ground.
Now,
why I want to do that? Why would I want to go do that? And they said it's a cultural civil rights museum. Yes.
Did that.
This is real life. Like I will send you the website.
But that right there is to reenact the trauma, reenact the pain, to constantly. One thing I noticed this today. I thought of this today. I've been noticing. They constantly punch that lower chakra, punch, punch, punch that lower chakra. They want to keep that red, the yellow. They want to keep that vibration right there. Once that vibration is still right there, they can continue to manipulate trauma, all of that stuff. And what it does is when it hit that lower chakra right there, it goes right up to your pituitary gland. After that, you are programmable. I'm gonna say that again. Not also along with the music constantly playing over and over again. You are programmable. So when something happens, you don't have a fight in you. You know what I'm saying? And not just that, we dehumanize ourselves. So when we see our brother or our sister, you know what I'm saying, in a bad situation or something happened to them, or they, you know what I'm saying, just a horrific scene, everybody want to pull out the iPhone and video it.
That's that right there. No.
We can't do that. We can't do that.
No, that's the most nonviolent act right there.
Man, we have to stay. We have to stay at a higher frequency, a higher vibration. And we also have and the kind of love we have to show for one another is this. If I see you in trouble, I'm not putting out no phone. I'm just being for real. I'm a bring it down because I know we're on YouTube. If I see you in trouble, I'm not going to be the one pulling out a phone and be like, "Oh, stop it, blue collar, stop it. They didn't do it." You won't get that from me. But us as a people need to stop doing that. Everything is not a like or a video. You know what I'm saying?
I just thought about the damn folding chair in the tribe and the Aquaman. Like, that's what we got to do on a regular basis.
Yeah.
Right. It's crazy.
That's what we got to do
on a regular
basis.
But you know what? I'll cut you out. But you know what the thing about the little phone? What's that? Man, we got a whole, probably about 2 generations now. That's what they know now. See somebody get hurt, pull out your phone. Think about that.
The one I think about is, and we did our recap last year. So let's go back to Chicago and that sister that was in the restaurant. And the dude, slugs. Number one, he was weak. He couldn't even drop her. And we had a whole debate. There was a whole debate on who was right or wrong.
Right.
This is what I'm talking about. We have more kings than people think. They're only Malcolm in closed areas. And I tell you, I know somebody, Ken knows somebody too, that we was riding and dude was sounding straight like a real gorilla silverback. Then we got out the car. He was like, all lives matter. We need to stop this. Everybody need to come together.
Yeah.
So he's an old timer. So he really, he really didn't matter. But no, back to the one where the dude swings on the lady, and like to Nada's point, everybody's standing around watching.
Yeah.
So we're not even on that time until we can at least say something. We got black men that say, I'm not going to get involved with that. Now, they'll diss King and say, well, I'm not going to get involved with that. Or we'll see domestic violence and say, well, she ain't going to do nothing but go back to him. I wouldn't give a damn. If you step to him and at least let him know that this is not okay.
Yeah.
And we have to learn that confrontation don't always mean physicality.
No. But I do want to say this though. You brought out a good point. And during that time with that particular thing happened, dude got shot or whatever. But all on social media, our men were split.
Split, dog.
Some said
I was talking about.
It was split. You know what I'm saying? It was bad. And believe it or not, it showed the level of how we respect our woman. You know what I'm saying? One, we have no honor. 2, we're very disloyal.
Run that back,
3,
dog. Run that back.
3,
It shows the level of how we respect our woman. Run that back, dog.
Yeah. This shows the level how we respect our women. You know what I'm saying? Like. Okay. In my family, I'm like the big uncle or whatever like that, and being
You
an
the
uncle,
OG.
me.
You the OG.
I can see that. I can see that.
Yeah. So
you know
so being an uncle, I take pride in this. I make sure my nieces are comfortable with coming to me talking to me. You know what I'm saying? I have always been like that because I grew up with a code. I grew up protecting, you protect your auntie, you protect your mother, your grandmother, stuff like that. I didn't grow up like slapping women around or nothing like that, or being they should stay in their place and shut up. We understand women have a place. We understand the man has a place as well. But what I'm saying is this: we have lost that. In East St. Louis, Illinois, Southside Chicago, Gary, Indiana, Flint, Michigan, we protected a lot of women, and we did that because that's how we was raised. You know what I'm saying? We didn't let the Wazungu disrespect the woman. For real, I'm serious. But right now, these guys will let anybody say anything, and it'd be crazy though. It's like I'd be out in the public, and it's like my energy is like, like somebody will say something, and I might not even be like a part of the situation. It never fails, or a sister or a mother look at me and be like, brother, what, and be looking at me like, ain't you gonna do something about this? It's always something like that. You know what I'm saying? I guess my energy, you know what I'm saying, is like that. But that during that situation, it was bad. He punched the sister, he got shot. And they were saying it was her fault.
we talking about law.
We talking about
it was illegal what he did. Listen, you can go to the Savior's Day speech, back to Farrakhan. I'm harping on him for a second, and I'm gonna do that a lot on this thing. He says when it comes to the assassination of Malcolm, he said we don't give a damn about no white man's law when you attack what we love. Now this is one of our own. So when it comes to a woman, now we get very like law abiding and say, okay, well, once he's made it out, ain't no making it out to safety once you don't put your hands on my mom.
That's true.
Ain't no, see, this is what we got to learn, because like you said, if you violate the Yorugu, ain't no law for them. They are lawless.
And that's any other nationality. That's any other nationality.
They coming. I saw that firsthand. I was at the store one day, and a brother did something to a European woman. Of course, during this time, I don't think I didn't know what a Karen was, but she was all just extra. I'm just being for real. I didn't, you know what I'm saying? This how long ago it was. And he was scared and stuff like that. And I remember police pulling up. Come here. I said, whoa. I said, you don't get the story first? He said, who is you? That's what the police said. Police like, who is you? You know what I'm saying? And during that time, that was my first little introduction into commerce. So, my chest poked out. I'm going to tell the other story off the air because Obasi liked that story. But that was during the time my chest was poked out. And when I learned commerce,
is that the one where you used your strong hand?
Nah,
I just want to ask. I'm just going to say, you showed up on the black hand side. That's all I'm going to say.
The second event. But this particular time, I was using my commerce and I was telling him, what can he do? What can he do? Stuff like that. They kind of respected a little bit. But it just showed you, man, when she called, they came. I'm talking about they came. And they was ready to put my man in the car, no question. They was ready to beat him down, take him to the station, and they settled it there. We got to stop that. When stuff like that
We are the ones that's out here playing, man.
And when we look into like the makings of feminism, it sprang from white women. It sprang from the neglect of white men. So, and I say that culturally, they don't respect their women. But
that's because they can't. Sorry.
Yeah. Oh no, that's just big fact. And a book that'll tell you that is Plato's Symposium. You really want to understand some stuff, read that. So when we're looking at the cultural fabric of the Yorugu, they're not these who we think now. Okay, like let's look at Diddy. Let's look at him and Cassie. Okay. When Cassie came to speak out, regardless to what she is, this just to what we're saying about how black men or black males respond to essay and things of that nature. You had so many people. I think one of the most ignorant ones was Slim Thug, and he jumped out and he had so much to say. And a lot of Negroes, we can't say that N word on here, but a lot of Negroes jumped in suit, and they come down on women. Now, who was the savior, or who looked like the savior to Cassie? Her white boyfriend. As they spin the story, he was the one that was telling her to be brave and speak up psychologically. This is why our women are saying we're gonna go to this other side. This is why that female felt so comfortable to number one, and that picture just irked me. And she made a diss song about Umar Johnson because instead of him being for real, he made a joke out of everything. And here we are. They got three black women. They had three or four. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. And they're with these they with these Western men, and we seeing women saying that this is what protection looks like. Now imagine people that would have sold you and snatched you away from your family. This is documented. This ain't no bossy saying. Snatched you and took you away from your family and sold you and put you into sex forms and breeded you. Imagine years later, years down the line, they're the ones we're saying looks like protection. So we have to really examine a lot of this stuff. You said something, Queen?
Yeah, tough.
Yes. But you got to think about it though. Look at our music. You know what I'm saying? Look at the frequency that we are putting out to the youth. Look at the frequency we're putting out to the youth. No one's correcting the frequency, even though the music is being controlled by certain entities and things of that nature. But no one's correcting the frequency because the adults think it's cool. The adults are being friends with the youth. You got to stop doing that. Correct the frequency. If it's out there like that, and let them know, like, yo, we don't do this. You know what I'm saying? And that's bad because they say this is what protection looks like.
Okay, but we can go deeper.
They feel confident and secure because we keep beating them down.
I still wouldn't go to the pink meat.
All right.
I love it when I hear that. You were saying something, bro?
Nah, I'm good.
Okay.
Honestly, like that whole situation, that's a whole episode within itself. And ironically enough, I was trying my best to get through that Orlando interview today, and I just really couldn't. He's just so extra for me. But one thing
Orlando Brown?
Yeah, I can't do it. It's just
I'm with you. I can't.
He think he Jesus. Like, what?
Yeah, he definitely said he was Jesus.
It's just certain people, it's hard for me to listen
Orlando
to.
Bloom, the actor from Raven Simone show.
Brown.
Orlando Brown.
Whatever.
Brown.
Bloom, Judy Bloom, Orlando Brown, Judge Joe Brown. Like, I don't care.
Bobby Brown is all the
same. Jesus.
Hey, you know he's on medication, right?
He on a lot of shit. I ain't even gonna hold you. Because let me tell you, the 45 minutes that I was able to get through, one thing that he did say was like, he was low-key kind of making fun of Cassie for, I think, that video that they put up of Diddy recording her when she was laying outside of the hotel balcony, like, in a blanket wrapped up hiding. He was like, yeah, she was hiding because she didn't even know what type of ritual she signed up for or what type of hazing she signed up for. Do you know what I mean? He's like, you have to be cautious about what it is that you're praying and asking me for, meaning like he's Jesus Christ, right? He's like, so if you asking for certain things to be given to you, at those moments, you're really not thinking about what strings come attached to that. We all know that, right? Especially in this industry that, you know, many people want to be a part of. And, you know, when I think about these things, I'm like, this is a Western thing. You
Yeah.
know, like,
Yeah.
were my people ever doing this shit? Because I don't think so. And if they were, that was under the ground. You know, like I feel like we, to kind of go back to the whole MLK vibes, and once that integration started, oh, we want to go shop at Bloomingdale's, you know, or we want to go shop over at Macy's or whatever it was called at that time. You know what I mean? Like, we wanted to look like them so much that it's still going on to this very day.
Right.
Consumerism in the Black community over to that community is in the billions of dollars. To think about if that wealth were circulated in our communities presently, in our apartment complexes, in our grocery stores, coming from our farms, you know, where we are actually working because we like farming.
And
Not
we
because you stole me. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's so many deep layers into all of this. And when I think about the fact that the only reason why people want to be seen, want to be heard, want to drive cars, want to have money is because of them, what are we doing? This is their society. This is their culture. Why are we wanting to be so a part of that? The only people that I want to align myself with are people who are aligned in the same mindset, in the same consciousness, and who are a part of my soul family. And this is already goes without saying, I hope. You know what I mean? Like, I have no desire to please a white man.
right.
Anytime I used to work in corporate,
Hey,
like, oh, so and so is, you know, the CEO of, I'll be like, oh, so what's his name? They'd be like, he's the CEO of the company. You don't know his name? No, what's his name? I just asked you. You know what I mean? Because I don't give that type of
no, for
praise
real.
to somebody who has the same type of blood as me. Like, we all got blood flowing through our veins. And at the end of the day, I'm not going to feel like you're above me or beneath me or any of that, like, at all.
You know, we were talking about on our Wednesdays, and people get to catch that. We were talking about um the goofy Cameron's comments. And he was talking about how, and we was talking about how when we bring up Africans, the first thing our people say, Africans don't like us. Okay, cool. We can give a dog a bone on that. If we must shout that to the wind, we can do that. But what was funny, speaking of 2022, because it's 2020, this was 2022. Did anybody remember when Jim Jones goes into Gucci, the Gucci store? He's totally treated like a Negro. He's totally treated like, we don't even want your money.
Hmm.
When we see those type of behaviors, when we
Yeah.
see that type of open, blatant prejudice and racism, that should show us right there. But yet we're stuck on Africans. And what was funny is they treated him like he was just a regular person. They didn't even want his money. And what did we do? When Kanye West came out and talked about Balenciaga and their ring that they got going on, their P ring that they got going on, people bought more Balenciaga than I seen. So this is what I'm talking about when I'm saying, when we blasting him saying, oh, this, that, and that. We don't even hear today's racism.
You know what? I just want to stop you for a moment right there, only
Do you
because
think? Do you
when
think?
I got my Nagash sneakers, they came in a pyramid. I don't know
Hmm.
nobody that sell you sneaker boxes that's in the shape of a pyramid. That's number one. You know what I mean? Like, I really
Oh
still,
yeah.
to this very, very day, still feel like we need to pour more money into our people with clothing lines. You know, we all rock people who, you know, we know. I get so many more compliments on those types of clothes exactly than I
Okay.
do on regular shit that I buy in the store. And if you see me shopping in the store, it's probably at Target.
Right.
Like, I'm not doing it. Like, I'm sorry. I think I had like
I didn't
one.
even know black people still go to Target.
Oh yeah,
Definitely
man. I
still
get my
shop at Target. Like,
yeah.
it's around the corner from my house. That shit is the most
Okay,
convenient.
convenience,
You
convenience,
know what I
cool.
mean? Otherwise, across the street, I got the little Mexican International Bodega that sell food from every country in South America. That's where I go to buy my groceries. I know that shit coming straight from the land. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not buying food from these other places. Like, in my mind, for me, I just want to see our people come together and excel exponentially. Like, the shit that they're doing right now as we speak, people have no idea what's about to happen. And,
Right,
thinking about
right.
Tulsa and thinking about Martin Luther King and what he thought he wanted to do, it's a great concept. You know what I mean? When I think about me going to a non-denominational church for like 5 years of my life in my 20s, and the first day that I stopped going, it was because I saw that the slave ship name was Jesus. That was like the first
Mm-hmm.
meme I saw on
Mm-hmm.
Facebook. The
Mm-hmm.
first meme that ever, memes were not out, but the first meme that I saw was that. And I was just like, hold up, like I got questions. Like, let me start digging into this a little bit deeper because I grew up as a Jehovah's Witness where reading other books were prohibited technically.
Uh-huh.
Do you know what I mean? So anything that I've
Yeah.
accumulated over time has been done on my own research. I had to sit and actually do the work. How many people are doing that right now? I had a community center to grow up in. There was one Pan-African man. He was heavy on Kwanzaa. He used to wear all the jewels and crystals and head wraps. And I thought he was fly. I was like, whoever that is, that needs to be my best friend. Like, how can you become my counselor? You know what I mean? And
Uh-huh.
he was my counselor. I just found out he actually has a shop down in South Carolina or Virginia or something like that. But I was so drawn to him, and other people wanted to be with like the white people or the people who were like popular in high school at that time. No, I want to be with him, Brother Rich. Who is Brother Rich? His vibes are so random and so for me. And then later on, I found out that he was actually African dancing with my mom in college. So it's like these little things, that kind of pulled me into this culture, I've openly always embraced because you know why? I grew up in the hood in 476 Richmond Terrace, Staten Island, New York. And we used to stand on the line for black and white, no frills brand boxes of stuff. I never really came from money. My ancestors came through Ellis Island from Puerto Rico. Like they really didn't have anything, and when I see where we have gone, like I get the concept of Martin Luther King wanting for us to integrate, but we really didn't have to.
Right, right.
Like I can't emphasize that enough. When I think about Black home ownership, I'm really thankful for everybody who's a Black homeowner. And I pray you do that shit right now before they start decreasing the interest rates. Here's a little bit of a bar. They about to start dropping these interest rates before the end of March comes, and the housing prices are only going to increase. And that means that the only people that can still land some more are more white people. Do you understand? They want to call you
Mhm.
African American because they don't really want you to know that you was here. Like they
Right.
want you to really go away from this whole idea and concept of the American dream because that shit is fake.
You gotta
It
be
is
sleep.
not
You gotta
real.
be asleep to be dreaming.
That's fine. And guess what? Those are all those nonviolent people because everything
Believe
has
it.
to be kumbaya in that world. Everything has to be status quo. Everything has to be what your pastor said. You know what I mean? And I bet you right now, I'm sorry, it's
Uh-huh.
true. Everything has to be,
No,
oh, well,
you're
Pastor
right.
didn't say that. Like, why is that nigga name coming up in my, excuse my language? Why is his name coming up in my house? He don't live here. He could
He
preach a
represent the
great
Lord.
sermon.
He
I could preach a
represent
great
the
sermon
Lord, Queen. Don't
too.
do
My father taught me. Like,
that.
I don't have time for this. I'm just saying, like, there's so many obstacles that they have put into place that people feel like they want to obtain. But at the end of the day, the things that you have to go through just to obtain the American dream requires $4 million right now.
Yeah.
$3.87 million to become what they call the American dream. Meanwhile, everybody's
Mm.
making between $40,000 and $50,000 on average.
Now, how
Right,
did you get to
right.
that dream? How you live that dream?
Hey, we got shout out to the brother at retro_soul, man. Appreciate you, brother.
Yo,
Subscribe, share like the page, tell everybody about it, man. Cause we gonna do this
what's up, bro?
once a
Steve, I
week,
just
man.
dropped a link in my group chat too. So
But you know something
Yeah.
you said that was powerful, Queen, and we got to kind of back it up a little bit on that. You said you grew up JW and outside knowledge was forbidden. Now imagine how you can control the people with that right there. That's why I said that's why we have to like really look at like the damage that even though they'll say it's not Christianity, to me it falls under the Christianity umbrella. It's a form of it, you know, and I know a couple of them that say it's not Christianity. It definitely is. But again, the way it's given to our people, it's given to them in a docile way, in a getting you to adjust to the pain and getting you to accept, abuse and hard times and tribulations and, but it empowers Western. It teaches them to be commanders and crusaders and all of these things. So I think we have to look at like how a lot of times things are introduced because, like you said, the first time we was introduced to Jesus, it was on the ship. So that sticks with you. Let me ask you a question, Queen. What would be like one? What do you think is like one doable example of us coming together? Like one thing that you would think like doable that you would like to see?
honestly, just like the Jews do, you need to circulate your resources at least 7 times within the community before you go out. Like
That stopped our circle. Yeah.
that's it. We barely do the first one. Barely do the first one. Anytime I get paid, I buy one thing first before I buy anything else. I put money in my savings account and then I go buy something from a Black-owned business.
Right. But
That's the
we
first thing
like
that I
that.
do.
we used to, like when I was a kid, because we had Black-owned businesses right in our neighborhoods.
Yeah.
Literally, yeah.
Yeah, for me,
Yeah.
it was Arabs in New York. Arabs owned all the bodegas.
Yeah,
You
flipped
know what
over
I
though.
mean?
Yeah, flipped over.
Yeah, they own all the bodegas. They still got all the weed shops now. Like, it's completely different. But I think the first thing is definitely, keeping the resources within the community. That's number one. I think Derek Grace just dropped like some type of encyclopedia or something. It was like $50, $60. And it's like all the books he's ever did, his Monopoly game, and just a whole bunch of gems that he's dropping. He's pretty dope. And that was the first thing I bought. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to buy this year. I'm going to make sure that I continue to spread love within my community first because like I said, I went to college as a finance major first, and then I studied religion, and then I studied psychology. So I have a great different background and I'm very interested in money if you haven't realized that yet. I always bring the business, the money, and those types of backgrounds because that's what my interest lies in. And I'm fully aware of how much money is actually circulating in the world on an average, on a daily basis. So at the same time, if I know that my people have these resources and yet we somehow always figure it out, anything that needs to be done, anything that needs to be paid, we make that shit work. You know why we make it work? Because we have royalty in our blood. And we know that the money is ours and we know how to get to that bag no matter what. Every single person that I know, that's where we start.
Right. I like that. That's that's why I asked like doable because I think it's like I said a couple of weeks ago. We always say, come together, but we have to have like a goal or something to come together to do. We can't just come together and stand around because we do. It's kind of like that double-edged sword. It's a good thing that we are a different thinking people, but it's a terrible thing because we have so many different things, and it's like we can't even decide if we want to hear truth. We can't even decide if truth is eye-opening, awakening, or a distraction. So
That's a
I think
fact.
we have to like, and that's what I said on my page the other day. I said, please would stop with that corny crap of Cat Williams coming, blasting, telling the truth in the manner that he did was a distraction. Anytime you tell that type of hard stuff, it's gonna have a ripple effect, but it was not like gossip. It was just straight up truth. It was what the truthers have been saying for. It's only everything we've been saying for years. How long? And that's the thing of like the people's awareness. How long does it take them to see that Tyler Perry is not a straight man? You can't see that a man that play that type of woman. You gotta be out your mind to think
90s,
he's
my
straight.
love.
Come on now, we play these kind of like games that like we don't know, and that's where I think the first thing is to come together in the mental and come to reality.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a small percentage of us that lives in real reality.
But you know what? There's a guy that I follow with all the sun. His thing is like sun blood. Melanated people have sun blood, and his name is Kali on Instagram. And one tagline he always says is the truth is more disturbing than a lie.
You know what I mean?
All the time.
You know what I mean? Because that thing keep you up at night right there, Queen. That truth will keep them up at night if they ain't ready for it.
And you know what? You're not telling no story too. I had a brother, man. He told me a little bit about himself, man. And he said it keeps him up all night long.
What keeps him
The
up?
truth.
Oh,
the truth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you're wrestling with what you've been told. Now, just imagine how we all felt when we found out Jesus was a hoax and Jesus had been sold to us and given to us. No matter what I think some of us I wasn't just like shocked, but it was like, well, damn,
Yo.
So I think people rationalize, and that's what I always say. People always hear me say rationality is a dangerous thing because you have to find some way to cope with what you just heard. And that lie is confident. Like, shout out to our brother, General Shaka Sankofa. He always say,
hey, man, I was mad when I found out Santa Claus wasn't real.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It kept me up that night.
Oh, this guy's funny.
He kept up all night, darling. You didn't get no
Man, I knew that shit wasn't real when I turned 6, man. What you talking about?
Yeah, you know what I mean?
It's been 32 long years.
Hey Ken, I'm gonna have a private talk with you tomorrow.
No, man. How did you feel when you found out it wasn't real knowledge?
It wasn't real.
Jesus Christ? Jesus the Christ?
There wasn't no Santa Claus.
Oh,
was no Santa Claus?
Not Jesus the Christ. We talking about Santa still?
Which one? which one?
Talking about the fat man that come down.
Hey, take a picture,
come down the chimney tree, man.
I'm gonna go with Jesus. When I found out about him, I found out about the letter J, and that's what started me researching. And then a lot of people don't know this. I was Church of God in Christ. I was an elder, becoming an elder in the church. So they call me the Scripture Man. A lot of people don't see it. I had to show you guys the picture. Obasi and Ken Waters saw the picture though. But yeah, once I found it, I started doing my research, and then I started asking my pastor and my bishop certain questions they couldn't answer. After that was it. You know what I'm saying? Then I started learning about commerce. Once I started learning about the laws of the water as far as Admiralty Maritime Equity Law, I posted a picture of the Miami courthouse on my Instagram. I think it's on my Instagram story, one of them, and I asked a question: what does this look like? No one even answered. No one even put an answer in there, whatever. And the Miami courthouse, federal courthouse, is made like a ship. They do things in plain sight, so they know that we will know. We either gonna know or we're not gonna know. But it's just the audacity for them to do that, and it kind of teed me off when I found out and I heard about it. And all of that thing has a whole ripple effect. You know what I'm saying? On the letter J, it's not part of the Hebrew alphabet. Some things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? Then I went out and bought a 1611 King James Bible, or a version of the Bible. Once I got that, once I bought that, it was
But
a
King
wrap. I think
James was black. King James was a
Nah,
black though,
there's an
wasn't it not?
original text that Hebrew Israelites use only, and it's not King James.
no, it's not.
It's the 1611. He know.
Yeah, 1611.
Mhm.
And believe you me, I even downloaded one that's before that. And that particular version, his name was Isus or whatever. And you
Yep.
know, the next thing I
Yep.
found out was man's DNA is YAH. Then I found out as I started the show when I say my beginning mantra, and that sticks with me: 6 protons, 6 neutrons, 6 electrons. They say 666 is the devil. No, that's the carbon. That's the melanin. That's the vehicle in this world that keeps everything going. Point blank, period.
All right,
So,
That's why it's
we
the
got
devil.
the brother Mike Chambers in the house. What up, Mike? He has a
What up,
question.
G?
what's up, Mike?
And for the lives, we gonna do lives once a month. So we eventually, as we get into it, we gonna have like call in, so y'all call in,
Yeah,
Yeah.
ask
we're gonna
questions,
have
and
the whole
have
hookup.
dialogue. So this our first show. We went off the whim, so we gonna be here every week. But what's up, brother Mike? Man, what love, brother? Missed you this weekend. We was with
But
the
yeah,
brothers and sisters, man. Hey, yo, so White Mike said, why is it so important for us to stop believing in all different stories they have told and continue to tell us? Brother Mike
it's
Chambers
it's
asked that
very.
question.
I'm gonna finish and I'm gonna get to it. So the letter J on learning about Jesus was the whole big thing, and it sent me on a knowledge whirlwind. I'm gonna put it to you like that. Why is it important for us to start believing it? Because it's not part of our culture. And then we have then like I just speaking with Ken Water earlier, and we were talking about Islam, and I'm gonna say it for another time. Say this. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this. It's important because it takes away from our original culture. It has no authenticity. It's only for control to manipulate and to keep us lollygagging around in commerce. You got all these different holidays, all these different everythings. They keep you spending money, spending money. At one particular point in time, I don't know if it's still like that today. I haven't done my research, but Christmas was the year that a lot of people would kill themselves because they didn't have money to have a dinner. They didn't have they didn't have money to buy a gift. No, it's very bad for us as a people, as a culture. We got to grow out of that because there are so many things that we can embrace. There are so many things that we can do as a
Right.
people. We ain't got to celebrate all these different days and all these different stories that they tell us. And a lot of these stories they take. You know what I'm saying? Like Psalms, you got the portion wisdom of the Bible, which is Psalms, Proverbs, Ecclesiastes, King of Solomon, right?
Right.
I have one of the oldest books. It's called the Ptah of Imhotep. In that book, in the book, it has a wisdom part. It's pretty much a whole book of wisdom, and it reads like Proverbs and Psalms. Crazy. They let you know that they have no authenticity, and this particular book predates the Bible thousands of years. Predates the Bible. Do you get what I'm saying? So they're taking our stuff, regurgitating it, feeding it back to us, but with a twist on it, and they never give us the originality. They
And
leave
that's
out
okay.
the authenticity.
And that's why they say 666 is the devil.
That's a lie. And that's a big lie. Yeah, everything
You know
they
what I
tell us
mean?
is a goddamn
They
lie.
will never
They don't have any, yeah.
I would love to see the day if they ever admitted to our true power. And the reason why they push paganism down your throat is to keep you lost and to keep you in consumerism, like you said, knowledge, because that's all that it is.
That's
When
our
I was like
commerce.
5, 6 years old, my father, like I said, Jehovah's Witness, he taught us that shit from the beginning. Like, I will buy you whatever you want anytime you want it. Why I gotta give it to you on a specific day of the year, towards the end
Yeah.
of their year, and keep your tally. Like, for what? If you want that, that's what I'm gonna buy you. You know what I mean? Like, you have to start
Right.
thinking about it. He was like, there's almost a holiday every single 30 days. He was like, they go and buy a completely different calendar. They don't even, Jesus wasn't born in no December. Like,
Right.
Be spitting the facts. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
I wouldn't change the way I grew up for anything, because I wouldn't even be this honest and this proud to even be on this platform public speaking if it weren't for that religion, cult, whatever you want to call it. You know what I mean? Like, you have to literally take away what you can from these types of experiences that
Right.
we have dealt with. And when you start doing the work, you start feeling the struggles of your ancestors as well.
Right.
And that's why you continue to do the work. You continue to
I'm gonna say
I want to go way back before you start, because I had thought
I
about something.
want to answer. I want to give my answer to Brother Mike Chambers' question. It's simple, because it causes an identity crisis.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's simple.
Or
Yeah.
has
To
already.
Brother Mike Chambers' question, it
Yeah.
causes an identity crisis, because that's why we're going through what we're going through. That's why we have so many, no, we this, no, we that, no, we this. And I always say we're in trouble. No matter what you are, we're in trouble.
Yeah.
So it's a very quick answer, but go ahead, bro.
I had wanted to go back to what you had stated an hour ago when you was talking about protesting. Okay, to me, this is my definition. It's not wrong with protesting, because to me, protesting is only to bring awareness to the problem. So what I get from me being out here, we'll protest and then we stop.
Mm-hmm.
That's the problem. The only thing I
Why-
have to do is stop. So
Why
I
do
got to
we
be
stop?
something behind. After you bring that awareness, then what? What's the next move? And most of us don't even have the next move.
Because you know what the next move is, bro?
They're gonna
And
kill us.
the
Say
next
again?
move is, okay, take like one that I participated, one that I was in on Glenwood. It was
Man,
a gas
Glenwood.
station. It was
What's the
on.
next
It was
move?
it was a gas station, and I had never seen so many of my people sambo and tap dance in my life. But
Right.
that's a whole nother story. But what happened was we were successful in running the Arabs up out of the community. But guess what they did? They just sent in different family members to buy it, because we don't have buying power once we shut them down. So this is why we have to have the economics to what Queen and Knowledge talks about. This is why the economics is imperative.
Very important.
Because once you do that, you have to come in with the buying power to buy up your block. That's black nationalism. See,
Right.
we've gotten so far away from what this stuff truly means, that the original definitions, because we intellectually masturbate. I'm not gonna say the other question. I mean the other word, but so that we don't really understand what you do. Like Ken said, what's next? Buy it up. Repeat the process.
That's what Nipsey Hussle did.
How is it that exactly? How is it that, because I still ain't forgot about Latasha Harlin. How is it that a Korean can unalive Latasha Harlin, shoot her in the back of the head the way she did, and serve no time? Let's just get to that.
And
we
she had the
still,
money.
Because we are the most
and she
hated.
had the money.
We are the most hated.
By who though, dog?
Everybody,
By who
man.
though, dog?
We
They hate us
hate
because they ain't
ourselves.
us.
Come
They
on,
hate us
man.
because they ain't us. And we talked about the BBLs and we hate ourselves.
No, we're not gonna get Queen started on that BBL. Queen go somewhere. she
I'm blaming
bangs on that
MLK.
BBL, but that's real though. You
Yeah,
gotta stand on that. That's real though, Queen. Because what that is destruction to our women. But okay, Queen, where did that need for the BBL start in your
I
opinion?
just said I just blame
Strippers.
MLK.
No, you can't blame.
Why not?
Okay.
I'm going into white boutiques, buying gay clothes, trying to be like them. They've always used plastic surgery. I had a boss that was from Turkey who would brag to us, I'm going to Turkey to get my tummy tucked. Like,
wow.
I don't care. I don't care. And then she would go back 2 years later to do the same procedure all over again. You know what I mean? She never had a better body than me. Never. Like, you know what I mean? But this is what we idolize because that is a status symbol. Regardless of what we say, if you can afford surgery, plastic surgery, that's a status symbol. Just like if you could do Gucci slides, bags, and Louis, that's a status symbol. Do you understand? So yes, I blame MLK because of that integration.
I see where you coming from. First I laugh, but when you
I like the twist.
Because she
I like the way she's done
that. Good.
And we got the brother Sean Johnson. Hey man, I got some new glasses coming in next week.
What's up, G?
Yeah, we got some last week. What these ain't cutting no more, brother man.
No, she dropped straight science on.
Hey, check it out. Hey, let me to one of the brothers in the comments, man. The brother, hey, what's up, Sean, brother, man? I see you in a minute. You say Russia president just gave knowledge to the original man of color. So what you mean by that, brother?
What?
I'll repeat it again. He said the Russia's president just gave knowledge to the original man of color.
Okay, what he say?
Okay,
I don't know what he mean by that.
But then, okay, we got to
we can deal with Russia because I'm gonna tell you why. When I be finding books, right? I'm in several different little places. I found, you know what I'm saying? Like I told Obasi this. A lot of that old information is in Russian, German or something like that. I'm talking about some old books, like books dealing with like old information, grimoires, all type of crazy stuff. It's in that language. I think they give us a little bit more than somebody else. You know what? I checked this out. Where is the Malcolm X stamp? What who gave Malcolm X the stamp? I forgot.
I never heard of that one, man.
Yeah, I'm put on a t-shirt. Don't worry about it. It's coming.
I'm gonna say this to the brother's statement, because we gotta kind of look at that like the protest. After they admit that, then what do we do? You know, so let's just say they come out and they say this. And I think it's enlightening and enriching for them. I think it's honest, finally. But what does that actually do for us once they admit it? What's the follow-up with that?
I don't think that other countries are the problem. I think it's just white European men in power who as a problem. I don't think people are waiting for us to come up together and step up and fight against these people in power. They're waiting for our community to rise up and come together to fight against them. Everybody's waiting for it. Even African women who don't like Black American women. Like everybody is waiting for us to come against this system. Everybody.
Right.
Yeah. People know who we are. That's why when we go to Asia, they worship us. Yeah. Have you ever seen those videos?
Yeah.
They worship us through the streets. So two things in that.
Why do you think they want to touch our hair so much, Queen? Why do you think
their hair's not like ours? That's the number one question I get all the time, even from Black men. Like, that's the first thing men want to do, wrap your hair around and pull that shit. Like, boy, back off, man. Like, it's an infatuation. It's an infatuation. Right. Our hair is like the root of a tree. Yep. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, nobody's hair does that. Just ours. I seen a white girl at the little kid indoor water park, Bear, blah, 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 last week. Long locks. I started to ask her about it, but instead I just looked at her like, Nobody's asking about your hair, I bet.
But you know what's so crazy? I don't know why, because I remember they was when I was a kid in the 70s, man, they was trying to look like us. They was
it's still like that,
like us.
The hippies?
They would get suntan. They still do get suntans and burn themselves up. You know, trying to get dark like us. Yep. They try to get their lips, whatever, features like the sisters, whatever. So why is it in reverse now? We so busy trying to look like them.
Because people are brainwashed. We already said that.
My God, bleaching skin and all this type of stuff.
I think I was talking, right, Obasi, correct me. I feel like we were just talking about this sometime last week when we said that I always said there are 5 generations to ruin our community for good. Right now, we're on the 3rd, right? And our, like, Obasi's daughter just celebrated a birthday, right? Her children, that'll be it. If he's not being the good shepherd that he is right now in his daughter's life,
Agreed.
it don't matter. She's going to be ruined. She's going to be what Ken said on the last podcast, twerking at a 2-year-old birthday party, listening to trap music, Sexy Red and you know what I mean? City Girls, knowing the dances, knowing the moves, all of this stuff. We're literally 2 generations away from our entire community being gone. Because now if I see another interracial marriage, I'm gonna lose my shit. And then I just saw
you ain't gonna lose it.
Listen, if I see another statistic, some guy had all the statistics about why white men marrying a black woman has better survival rates than a black man marrying a white woman. They're 3 times more likely to get a divorce if you're married to a white woman, whereas if a black woman were married to a white man, they have only a 44% chance of divorce compared to the other, which is crazy to me. And it goes back to what we were saying earlier, right? Like, they feel like they're providing a sense of protection or they know how to treat a woman. Yeah, because they've never had to be oppressed. Of course. Think about Tommy. I don't know if y'all watch Ghost right now, but Tommy's out in Chicago wilding and he's using his white privilege cards like a mug. I'm sorry, officer. This car is registered to me. Like, do you understand what I'm saying? We all can't get away with stuff like that. Of course, that man's going to love you better. But I'm saying, to bring it back, 5 generations, they knew that they wanted to whitewash us as best as possible within 5.
And I think to put some paint where it ain't on that, it's how each side looks at the beauty standard. They know that they know that our features are beautiful. That's why if we go back and look at them Kardashians, if you look at them before they hit anything, they didn't even have lips. Like they had no top lip, they had no bottom lip.
Yes.
They had no top lip, they had no bottom lip, they had no curve, they had no nothing. And if you look at it now, they're knockoff black women. And dudes lose their mind. All of them want them. All of this because it's always, shout out to Mama Frances Cress Wilson, if it's white, it's all right. And in reverse, we see that side as, the crazy see that side as beautiful. That's why, like Ken said, the bleaching of the skin. Have we ever heard of the skin darkening? Have we ever said, yo, we really need to darken our skin up? No, and I think it's how they have indoctrinated our people to see what's beautiful. Because in this Western society, covers of the magazine says the 100 most sexiest people, and 90 of them are Westerners. The sexiest man alive, 9 times out of 10, is a Westerner. The sexiest, most beautiful woman is old, skinny Polly. So it's how the image, because whoever controls the images controls the minds.
Whatever happened to the Jet magazine? Like,
Jet.
That was the thing. That queen. That was the thing right there.
Who bought them out?
I don't know. I think they got bought out. Also, the Black Entrepreneurship magazine as well.
Yep, I remember that one too. I remember all of them. Do they still have Essence? Do we still have Essence?
Yeah, Essence is still around. Man. They still around. They're heavy on LinkedIn too. They be posting.
Oh, they are? Okay, cool.
Yeah. But the Jet magazine made me think about what you said, Obasi. That was the closest that we could get to top 5 beautiful, blah, blah, blah. Like, that was the magazine. I used to love looking at that magazine. It came to the looking at all the black love.
I'm gonna get it's kind of bad though, but it also showed a lot of, I ain't gonna say it. Don't worry about it.
Come on, man.
You want to say it though, dog.
Don't let these people scare you.
Nah, I was talking about something. All right, so we're gonna wrap it up. Season 1, episode 1, Vokal Dialect. you know, we had a lot to say, and
we have a lot more. We're
we
gonna
got a
have
lot more to
trending
say.
topics. Like I said, we're gonna
A
do
lot
our
more to say.
lives, and we're gonna have fun on here too. So we ain't everything. That's why I tried to put in a few jokes in there because no, we ain't gonna be all serious. You gotta laugh. I like to laugh from time to time, man.
No,
So
we
yeah.
definitely been
Hey,
funny.
like, comment, and subscribe and support the page. You know what I mean? So we're gonna have a lot of content coming at you, information, knowledge. Like I said, have fun. Eventually we gonna have you guys call in the whole 9 yards. So yeah, share our page, Vocal Dialect, YouTube, Facebook, as well as Instagram. We are coming up with a TikTok as well. So yeah, we gonna be here. We gonna be here, brothers and sisters.
Yes. I just want to say that they are always listening because as soon as I went into Facebook to go post up the link for the chat just now, the first thing that I saw was Jesus is not real.
You know
Neither
what I'm
is
talking
Santa Claus, the
about?
Tooth Fairy, the Easter Bunny. So yeah, don't get it twisted.
It's
I'm
cool.
sorry if we shattered any
Cool.
kids' dreams. This is adult channel, 18 and up and only.
Right.
All right, love is love. It's always a
All right,
pleasure.
family. Till next time.
Always a
It
pleasure.
shall be a next time. Peace.
Peace.